You want me? Come and get me!
Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the newly released MCU movie and the fourth Captain America movie, Captain America Brave New World. But before we get into this, there's a spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen this movie, wait until you see it to watch the rest of this. You've been warned. So, starring as our brand new Captain America, we have Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, who was, as we know, as Falcon for the past couple of years. As the new Falcon, we have Danny Ramirez playing Joaquin Torres, and as President of the United States, and now playing Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, we have Harrison Ford. I mean, this isn't the first time he's been the president.
Get off my plane.
And at reprising his role all the way back from the first Incredible Hulk movie, we have Samuel Stearns being played by Tim Blake Nelson. And we have the one and only Giancarlo Esposito playing Sidewinder. So this movie takes place obviously after the events of Endgame and after the events of the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So basically, Sam and Joaquin, they after President Ross Harrison Ford became president, he sends the new Captain America and Falcon on a mission to Mexico in order to get Sidewinder and his group of mercenaries and get something that they stole. They successfully do it, although they are initially a little bit scared because neither of them actually have superpowers. They get what was taken and bring it to Ross, and Ross then invites Sam and Joaquin to the White House to attend his summit. And they also invite Isaiah Bradley, who was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was also he was also a super soldier back in the 1950s. The whole backstory that is back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So if you haven't watched that, you might be a little bit confused on who he is. But anyway, so they all attend this meeting. And this meeting is specifically about what has happened recently. Basically, if you remember back in the movie The Eternals, the Celestial team rose out of the Indian Ocean, and the Eternals, they turned it into marble, and now it is just left stuck in the Indian Ocean. And it turns out that the whole Celestial, although they don't know it's a Celestial, it is made out of adamantium, which means adamantium is now canon to the MCU, which means sooner or later in the Earth 616 universe, we're finally going to get Wolverine. Getting his adamantium claws. And also, just before the meetings, the actual presentation of the adamantium starts, Ross, he actually asked Sam if he would want to reform the Avengers, just because the world is getting a little bit crazy again. So, during the main presentation, the song Mr. Blues goes off, and some light flashes occur, and Isaiah and a bunch of other people, they go crazy, and they try to shoot Ross. They luckily miss, and Isaiah, he's apprehended and thrown in prison. And Sam and Joaquin, and also Ross's person in charge of the FBI, played by Shira Haas. They also go to investigate, figuring out what's going on. Joaquin is able to determine that the source of this is coming from a secret facility in West Virginia. Both of them go, and there at the secret facility, they find Samuel Stearns, who has become the leader, who is a villain of the Incredible Hulk. Basically, way back in the Incredible Hulk movie, back in 2008, If you don't know the backstory of him, back in that movie, Tim Blake Nelson's Samuel Stearns, some of Bruce Banner's blood dripped into an open cut on his head, and it basically mutated his brain and he became super smart. Basically, like, he's as smart as the Hulk is strong. That's basically to sum up. And basically, ever since then, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross captured him, and he was held in prisoner, and basically he was just using him to just secretly run everything. And eventually, and it actually also just helped him just do all kinds of things for him, including making pills for Ross, which also helps his heart. But yeah, and it turns out, yeah, Samuel, the leader, is the one that's actually causing all this mayhem with the light flashes and everything and controlling people.
Who's playing who?
But meanwhile, while this is going on, it is basically a lot of the countries, they're upset at Ross because they kind of blame him for this attack on them at the summit at the White House. And this actually causes Japan to kind of try to go leave the group of nations that are all trying to go after the adamantium and basically try to take it for themselves. So while this is all happening, basically what they were originally trying to do, they were trying to make a treaty to agree to basically everyone to get a share of the adamantium and mine it together. But because of this attack at the White House, that all kind of starting to fall apart, especially with Japan trying to go after the adamantium itself for themselves. And seeing that Japan is inbound to the Celestial to get the adamantium, Ross sends a whole bunch of ships and planes after Japan, and a firefight breaks out just as Cap and Falcon, they escape from the site where the leader was. They actually go to talk to Sidewinder, who tells them what Samuel Stern's plans are, which he basically wants to ruin Ross's reputation and just expose him as the monster that he really is, and also start a world war, which is also happening as they speak over at the Celestial Island. So, with this, now knowing this, Sam and Joaquin, they head over to the Celestial Island, and they try to stop the fight. But as this is going on, something is going on with Ross. He gets very angry, and Stearns, he begins talking to him, and something very strange is happening to him. But luckily, everything's okay. Everything ends well, except Joaquin. He is shot down, and he is heavily injured. But in the end, everything ends well, at least in that. And then the leader, he actually turns himself in, and then he also leaks everything online about what he did, about everything like going on with Ross and what happened to him, just as Ross is holding a press conference at the White House. And well, then he morphs, he changes into the Red Hulk.
Since when were they red?
And Sam fights him, and luckily Sam is able to calm him down and stop him. And then Ross, he actually puts himself in prison, specifically on the raft, which is where he threw Sam in Captain America Civil War. And yeah, the treaty actually does go through, and Isaiah Bradley, he's released from prison, and Joaquin, he eventually does get better. And Sam also comes to the conclusion that yes, he is going to restart the Avengers and look for more people to rejoin, with him and Joaquin being the first two members. And then in the post-credit scene, we have the leader in prison also talking about how soon the multiverse is coming to visit them. And that overall is the basic synopsis of the plot. Overall, the movie was, I mean, let's just say in terms of all Captain America movies, I can say this is my least favorite. It's not a bad movie, like, it's definitely better than many of the recent things the MCU has churned up. I will say the standout roles of this movie, I gotta say, I think Anthony Mackie truly can be the new Captain America. I loved him in this movie. Like, he is definitely going to be a great Captain America. And Harrison Ford, he really is acting as Thunderbolt Ross. Like, he is really, like, you can feel he is trying, and it works. Like, I know back originally, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was played by William Hurt for all the time he's been in the MCU before, and then Hurt passed away a couple of years ago, and they could have retired the character, but instead they gave it to Harrison Ford, and overall, I really think he brought it. Like, he really did good as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. And overall, I mean, but the two, like, this, and it really shows, I mean, this movie was really both of their movies. Like, they were both the main characters in their different paths. You know, with Sam trying to prove himself as the new Captain America, and Ross trying to also prove to himself that he can change. He's not this, madman general that he was portrayed as in the past, and that he can be a good leader for the United States, and also just be a better person. But yeah, that's kind of like where the praise stops. Overall, like, this movie, you can definitely tell, like, the production story of this movie is, it went through a lot of reshoots just due to some bad screens. Like, I've heard things where saying, like, the entire movie was almost had to be reshot. And it just, like, you can tell there were scenes that just didn't exactly fit together. And as well, just, like, it was just, like, overall, I'd say the movie is okay, but it's just, like, you can definitely tell it was reworked a lot of times. And overall, I really think Anthony Mackie deserved a better movie for his first movie as Captain America. And, yeah, I mean, it also just, like, kind of, in a way, it feels like this movie should have been bigger. Like, this movie felt way too small for initially what it was gonna be hyped up as. Like, it seemed like when this movie was first announced, like 2 years, actually at this point almost 3 years ago, this movie, it felt like it was gonna be really, like, this was gonna be like a much bigger movie than what it was, even though in actuality it was kind of a smaller movie. And also, like, there was surprisingly no, like, link to the next movie that's coming out in the MCU, the Thunderbolts, like, which literally has Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross' name on the team. Like, that was my biggest surprise. I was like, why is there no, like, link to the Thunderbolts? Like, the only link that they really had was Bucky appeared in the movie, like, for, like, a short, like, cameo, which, I mean, it was great to see him, but it was just like, really? You couldn't have, like, tied the two movies in a little bit better? I mean, it's not like they're going to be far away from each other. Like, they're literally going to be releasing next month, but or like in a couple months. But overall, I'd say this movie, it's not bad. It's not good. Like, it's a good movie. It's not bad. It's not nearly as bad as some people think. Anthony Mackie really did good in this movie, and overall, I just think he deserved a better movie. But I'm gonna give this movie a solid B. Go check it out if you want to. You might enjoy it. You might not like it. And yeah, let's get into the next movie. So, it's another MCU movie. I already said the title, but here's the trailer.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
So yeah, the next movie, The Thunderbolts. We'll see. We're finally going to get a team movie. It's been forever. But yeah, let's see how it goes. And tell me, what did you think of Captain America Brave New World? Did you like it? Did you not see it? And yeah, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
It's over.
To play dress up and blindly execute the state's orders.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
What if this is a trap? You don't even know what this is.